Hey y'all. So, I've been receiving a lot of messages and a lot of questions and all of that, so I kind of wanted to just go ahead and make a video. And most of the questions that I've been receiving, though, are, not in the comment section or anything like that. They're personal messages. So, I do feel like if you can send me a personal message, I would really appreciate it if you would like and share this video, especially when it comes to these types of topics. I think it would be very beneficial for others to know about what to look for, especially when it comes to poisons and toxicity when it comes to, their pups. So yeah, if you could, do me a solid, go ahead and like and share this video with others so that they are informed of what to look for and what we went through. I would greatly appreciate it. Okay. All right. So let's go ahead and get into it. So we received confirmation recently that there was someone at our fence, and it looked as though they were either looking for something or they were placing something down just inside of our fence. Unfortunately, we don't have a good description of what they looked like, except that they looked like they were a little bit older, more like middle-aged. We know it definitely wasn't a child, it wasn't a kid, it wasn't an adolescent, a young adult, or anything like that. It was definitely somebody more along middle-aged. And it also looked like they were wearing a pesticide uniform, but I mean, we aren't exactly certain if it was, a pesticide uniform. It's very difficult to tell. So, I do want y'all to know that I'm not pointing fingers at anyone. I'm really hoping that this was something that was accidental and not done maliciously. That if they were in pest control, that they just went to the wrong house possibly, and set traps. Though that's kind of but I'm also not the sort of person that is naive enough to believe that everyone around us has good intentions, especially not after all of my own personal experiences. Now, that being said, and knowing how a majority of our community feels about animals, I would still like to think that it was accidental, though there's just something that is telling me that it wasn't. I would, though, like to try. I mean, this is really hard. This is a very sensitive topic for me, so I do apologize. But I would like to take solace in knowing that my sweet boy, my precious angel Pook, I want to take solace. He's no longer in pain. And I would like to think that he is now, in heaven with his brothers, and they're running and they're playing. But the heartache, though, is just really hard. The heartache, of not just for our immediate family, but for our extended family as well. And for those who have ever met Razor and fell in love with him, he was adored by many. Now, I want to go ahead and I want to get into the types of signs and symptoms that he was showing. But at the same time, I also want to discuss how everything went down. A couple of days ago, Razor, a couple of days ago, we took Ray to the vet because he was having explosive diarrhea. She ran a fecal on him and it came back with bacteria. So we were treating him for a bacterial infection. But later on that night, he started displaying even worse type symptoms. He was hypersalivating, and it wasn't like a typical hypersalivation where it's just, drool. It was a very thick, mucousy type hypersalivation. He was nauseous, even though we treated him symptomatically for his nausea. He was still nauseous. He was refusing to eat. He was drinking excessively, drinking a lot of water, still getting sick, and all of that kind of stuff. So we just figured, that maybe the anti-nausea that, we gave to him, maybe it just didn't fully absorb into his system, and that was what was causing him to still have an upset stomach. So, but then the baby started getting sick. So we tried giving Ray pumpkin. We tried to entice him to at least try to eat something. We tried to give him pumpkin. He refused it. We gave it to the baby and he ended up eating it, but then he ended up getting sick as well. So I ended up calling the doctor, our vet, sorry. I ended up calling her back and explaining to her what was going on. And we agreed that for the next 24 hours or so, we were going to try to reset his GI tract to see if that would help. So that was the plan. So then we didn't feel comfortable with Razor sleeping by himself. And so my husband ended up sleeping with him in the guest room. And, that way he wasn't alone. If anything happened, somebody was there and we could get it taken care of. So that next morning, we agreed that next morning, if he still, wasn't doing very well, we were going to take him back to the vet. And that was the plan. So we were just going to take him back to the vet and see what the heck was going on. Well, that morning, Kyle ended up letting, that's my husband, he ended up letting Ted, our 12-year-old Maltese, out to go potty. So as he let him out to go potty, he heard a thump coming from the guest room, and he went back, and apparently Razor had tried to get out of bed, and he fell off the bed and just thumped onto the floor.
These memories will stay with me.